All right, so I asked you to do CodingBat Array 2, the next 3 problems. You don't forget to log in, please. I'm not logging in because I want to do them from scratch. I don't want to just show you the answers that I already got. All right, so the next 3 are Lucky 13, Sum 28, and More 14. And sorry, I have to change this. All right, so given an array of ints, return true if the array contains no 1s and no 3s. So what I'm going to do is put a return true here. I watch, so that passes some of the tests, right? Because sometimes it's supposed to return true. But now I'm going to do a for loop, and if I find a 1 or a 3, I'm just going to return false before I even finish going through the whole loop. So for int I equals 0, I less than nums.length, I plus plus. I'm not even going to use curly brackets. Doesn't matter. If nums I is equal to a 1 or nums I is equal to a 3, I'm going to return false. And there we go. So it's okay if you used curly brackets here, open. Close. But it's the same thing because it was all just one line, and I know it looks like 2 lines, the if line and the return line, but they were they go together also in the same way. So again, you could put that there and put that there, and still works, but because each thing had only one thing in it, we didn't have to. All right, next, sum 28, or really sum 28. Sorry, I was just still fighting my sneeze from the last video. I'm not sick, don't worry. Return true if the sum of all the 2's in the array is exactly 8. Okay, we're going to go through the whole array, add up all the 2's, and then report back if they add up to 8. So we better make a variable count, set it equal to 0, and now we're going to go through the whole array. Int actually, I'm going to do it with a for each. So int x nums if x is equal to 2, count plus plus. So we're just sorry, count is wrong. Sum plus equals 2. We're adding 2 every time we find a 2. And then down here, check this out. It's a nice trick. We're going to say return sum equal 8. That'll return true if sum's equal to 8. It'll return false if sum's not equal to 8. And for the record, yes, you could say if sum equal 8, return true, else return false. But when it's not too complicated and you can just see, hey, I'm returning if this is true or false. It seems easier to me. I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. Given an array of ints, return true if the number of 1's is greater than a number of 4's. So what I would do is make a variable called 1's, set it equal to 0, and make a variable called 4's and set it equal to 0. And then I go through the whole thing, and if there's a 1, I'll add 1 to 1's. If there's a 4, I'll add 1 to 4's, and then at the end, I'll compare their numbers. So for int I equals 0, I less than nums.length, I plus plus. If nums I is equal to 1, then we're going to add 1 to the 1's variable. And if nums I is equal to 4, we're going to add 1 to the 4's variable. And then down here, you could do an if statement and say if 1s is greater than 4s, return true, else return false. But instead, I'm going to put it all in one line, return 1s greater than 4s. And there we have it. That's our CodingBat problems.